Welcome to the It's All Good show. I am Dr. Dream, and I am beside myself because of today's guest. Um, she is not only someone that professionally I've held in the highest esteem and someone that has inspired me and always impressed me. Um, I consider her to be one of my dear friends. Her name is Dr. Joan of Angels. She is a transformational visionary and intuitive soul portrait artist. I just have to stop here in her bio. Her artwork moves so much energy for people. I have been in her home looking at one of her homes in the past, looking at her artwork and just felt my very cells moving with what comes through her. And now I'll go back to this page I have. I'm probably interrupt this several times. She brings a powerful blend of esoteric insight and practical expertise to her work. She has a doctorate in chiropractic and a master's in counseling. This is what I'm saying. Like, this woman is just okay. She has dedicated over 40 years to empowering others through holistic healing, spiritual guidance, and personal transformation. Her unique soul essence portraits capture each individual's highest potential and deepest gifts, creating a visual map of the soul's journey and purpose. I'm going to make sure that she tells us if there's a way to see any of her work online, how we can do that, because just looking at it, if you're not getting it done for you personally, just looking at it creates a portal and an energetic shift. As an intuitive guide and transformational coach, Dr. Joan taps into profound wisdom to help clients align with their divine calling, break through personal limitations, and awaken their inner visionary. Beyond spiritual insights, Dr. Joan is a light worker dedicated to addressing practical, third dimensional protections, offering critical guidance in safeguarding personal identities and navigating the complexities of modern life. So, really helping us like feet on the ground kind of energetics and what we all need to know. We're going to get into all this with her through her coaching and various protection services. She empowers clients to build secure foundations that support their spiritual growth and daily life. Dr. Joan of Angels stands as a beacon of both divine connection and real world guidance, inspiring and uplifting those who seek her transformational touch. Dr. Joan of Angels, it is an absolute treat for me to have you on the It's All Good show.
I'm just beaming some love vibrations your way, Dr. Dream, because you know how much I love you. And your introduction already is bringing really tears to my eyes, because I am remembering years and years and years ago, I'd met you. You were, it was a different life, a different time, Conscious Life Expo. And then one day I'm in the desert and you're at my door. And thus began a great friendship.
It has been exceptional for me. I I I don't even really, I've tried to put it into words, what you mean to me and how I've seen you over the years and how I've held your energy and it's always in the highest level and it's been inspiring to me. Now, there's so much to talk about, but I just want to share this. I mean, we keep it real on the It's All Good show, and you and I, if we can't be authentic and real, then what can we be? And that's all I've ever known of you. When I called you to ask if you would be on the show, you shared with me that over the months here, you had gone through a dark night of the soul. And it absolutely caught me off guard because I was like, wait a sec, Joan of Angels at this time with everything going on, she's gone through, and I imagine it wasn't your first one in life because we all kind of, I think, went through that earlier in life. And I thought, Joan of Angels has gone through a dark night of the soul recently, and it honestly caught me off guard. And I thought, I've got to talk to her about this on the podcast because if Joan of Angels can go through a dark night of the soul at this point in her life, any of us can. And so without, making you uncomfortable or anything else, I want you to share with us what there is to share, but mostly how you got through it, and I just want to open it up to see where this goes, and with
Let's
all
see.
deepest honor and respect for you.
So I so appreciate how gentle you are, just so you know, how delicate you are at this moment. So, you know, my vision this life when I was 30 was that I was here to heal and inspire millions of people. I saw myself on stages around the world while people who were sick and injured would be walking in front of me, and I have a magic angel wand and healing millions of people. And that was a vision I had at 30. And that vision guided my whole life. I mean, my whole life, Dr. Dream. When I was a chiropractor, I would be frustrated because you can only manually adjust one person at a time on a table. I used to try to figure out how can I mass adjust people so I can adjust more people at a time. I can get more people well. How can I, build that up? And that's the way I've been my entire life. When I became Joan of Angels, I saw myself on stages around the world that I was going to be touching their hearts in a huge way. And that the world was really ready for me. And so I embarked. I had 2 years, wonderful years, traveling around the world, speaking and doing a lot of that. And then at one point, my guide said I had to exit that. And so I exited and I decided to dive, they said, dive into your art. And I dived back into my art. And I don't know, the enthusiasm and excitement for the work that I was doing, maybe after around November last year, suddenly it all crashed. Maybe because I wasn't out the way I was in the world. And it just became more and more challenging. And at the same time, I realized I needed a home. I didn't want to keep traveling. It didn't feel right anymore to not have a place of stability. And yet finances were tight. So I had to be careful. And it just seemed like all those things that I thought was going to happen didn't manifest. I got invited to go to Florida to stay with a client. Now, I know better than to ever stay with a client, so it was a mistake to stay with her. But within 2 days, I moved out. And what happened was, I think on the way to Florida, I started crying. It was like, whatever happened to the vision I had of who I am and what I'm here to do? It hasn't come true in the ways that I think. Now, I need to preface that with, in my career as a chiropractor and in a lawsuit that I won years ago, I have positively impacted thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of people with my work. But because I suppose I measured it in terms of financial or my ability to thrive on the planet, I had my own disconnect. And so I really went into a dark place. Here I was, almost could have been homeless if I wasn't such a miracle manifester, and miracles still manifested me. So I was able to maintain what I was doing. But I just was crying and crying. I was like, what happened to the visions I had? Were those the real visions, And who am I now? And how am I going to unfold? What is it that would make my heart sing and that would make others' hearts sing, not heart sings, well, however. And so you can see it's an emotional subject for me. And so I went to the first hurricane. There was a series of hurricanes here. The first one was a tropical storm, and I was by myself, and I started having panic attacks. I mean, huge panic attacks. And I decided that I had to work in the mortgage industry. So over that weekend with the storm pounding at my house, I enrolled in the mortgage industry. I haven't even told anyone this. Invested in this thing and decided to do it. And for 3 weeks, I'm skip tracing and all this stuff that's so not me. I mean, I could barely see the computer. And I'm putting myself in this narrow box. And until the next hurricane. And the next hurricane came, and I knew that I had to leave Sarasota, where we were, it was going to be very dangerous. And I left. And from that moment on, it was almost as if the hurricanes outside or the winds that were blowing in the storm, inside of me, a whole new energy was evolving. And I found myself here in Fort Lauderdale. Now, I've never wanted to live in Florida. It's a place where lots of my family live in Florida. You know, if you're from New York, you move to Florida when you get older. So in one way, it was really funny because I could see my relatives here, and it was all the same food I used to have in here. It was like culture shock. But it also brought me back to a very grounded side of myself, the side of me that became a chiropractor, that did hands-on work and kind of had a different perspective. And so since that time, so it went through two hurricanes. And by the way, it's a good thing I left where I was, because I don't even know if they've recovered yet. They had up to 6 feet of water. So, but I have just been going through this lightness of the soul once I arrived here in Fort Lauderdale. And so I find myself now shifting my entire work to be like a 3D light worker protection gal, really helping people navigate the 3D world. And I guess I should preface it by saying there was a time that I used to be a coach, that I would go into chiropractic offices and business offices and help them build their businesses. I was actually an expert at that. I completely forgot that. And so I have a track record of helping people see the big picture of what they need and how they can function in it, which is using my intuitive and transformational gifts, but I'm not calling it a reading. I'm not calling it a soul essence. I'm calling it really reality check. What do you need here to thrive? Because that's what I went through. What do I need here to make my life finally work here on the 3D planet that aligns with a vision of who I am, but also, you know, I can thrive. You know, and I'm over 70, so I never tell people my age, but I'm over 70. And when you get to be over 70, you want to have a way to take a few weeks off if you want, or I'm never going to retire. Let's face it, it's not in my genes. But, you know, so I really had to come to terms with it, and it's been amazing. So just to let you know, I live now overlooking these $50 million yachts. They're right outside my deck. I can look down 14 floors, and I live in the beach is right over there, the most magnificent. So, but the secret is that I knew that I might dissolve, but I also knew that when I really tapped into source, I would get my answers at the right time. And the right time wasn't until I got here to Fort Lauderdale. And then I realized my whole trip to Florida was really about getting me here where I could start my life again. Now, that's my story. That's the backstory.
I love it. I love that the process that you've gone through, and I'm particularly drawn to this perspective of what does it take for us to manage 3D, because we're surrounded by it,
Right.
and still be these healing practitioners, spiritual beings, which is not particularly 3D, but we're slotted in this 3D reality. Nothing brings that up more than what we've been seeing with the election that was just not even, I mean, this, not even, I mean, last week. And everything that's brought up for us, how exactly to manage ourselves and what does it take. And so It's
Right.
bringing up a lot for me. I before we started, I said I just turned 60, and I thought that I had gone through my second Saturn returns and it was over. And what I'm realizing now, 3 weeks into being 60, is no, I'm not sure my Saturn return is over. And I think there's some fine tuning and adjustment that's taking place. And it's possibly catching me a little off guard, possibly. Anyway, and so here
You
I am
know,
in Omaha, Nebraska, where I grew up. It's bringing up all sorts of emotional stuff for me. And I'm like, okay, it's important for us to address these things. It's important for us to be grounded in the world that we live in to be able to do everything that we need to do. So, where are you with everything? What do you have for us? What is it that's making it make sense for you?
so we are in the times for which all of us have been called. This is what we volunteered for. We volunteered for these hard times. We did. We volunteered to go through 2020. We volunteered to go through the loss of our friendships because of what we may believe in. Like we volunteered to be able to stand firm in what I call discernment and in truth and, and in stepping into our greatest gifts. And when maybe we're not 100% aligned, perhaps this dark night of the soul really was a wake up for me to get back on the right path. And I honor that. I honor that because the planet is going through that too. We've been in a dark place for many years, in a cocoon of transformation. The new election, well, 50% of the people are happy and 50% aren't. But we will see is a coming back together and a unity in America as transparency happens and the shit is cleared away. Excuse my language. You should never say that on a show. So in the midst of my trauma, I republished my book. The new Miracle Makers Club book is out. It's called the Miracle Makers Club, Manifest Miracles Daily. And so even while I was crying, I was typing away and re-editing my book on miracles. And I'm going, oh my God, this is so good. And this is so true. And I was affirming moment by moment while I'm crying, while I'm falling apart, affirming miracles that can happen. And I believe that. I believe that we're in the best of times, but we can't forget that, but we have to continue to raise that vibration. And even when I say raise the light, heck, if all you can muster is a little candle, do it. A birthday candle, a little candle, because just a little light will bring more clarity. And if you ask, show me the path for my highest good and the highest good of those around me and the planet, and you affirm that over and over and over again, it will bring you to that. And it'll bring you to the pivot because trust me, most of us now, like you and I, Dr. Dream, are pivoting. We have to make a little bit of pivot. What we were doing before isn't quite right. It might mean a little shift, a little twist, a little turn. And I'll help you do that. I'm good, guys, at helping you see where you're
All right.
being called to go to next. Now,
So,
in this new project I'm doing, I just want to mention that
yes.
I was a hermit in the desert. And when Neil came along and freed me from the desert for 2 years, I went back to my extroverted, what do I call myself? I used to call myself an introverted extrovert, but in a way, I'm an extrovert with an introvert tendency also. So I realized that I'm here in a whole new phase in my life. And and I'm calling for people who want to work with me, who want to actually join my team. And you can reach out and say, Joan, what's your team? And I'll let you know. But really, who want to do a complete miracle breakthrough financially, spiritually, energetically, and collectively, collaboratively, because you can't do it alone anymore. That's what I've really learned. If you really try to push the river by yourself, it ain't going to push. And by the way, you can't push the river. You're better off finding a group that wants to get on the raft with you and you all paddle together. And that's going to take us to where we're going far faster than by ourselves. And I suppose that's one of my big takeaways from a few months ago, where God knows I thought, who knew where I was going to end up, to living over $50 million boats here. in
Now, I want to point out, because I'm hearing it as you're speaking, that everything that you went through, it's quite obvious to me, and I'm sure anyone that's listening to this, that you never lost your faith. You were challenged to the very core of who you are, but it doesn't sound to me like you ever truly lost your faith in light of everything that was going on.
I will tell you that it helped that that was, I don't know how it happened, that was the time I started re-editing my book. And, that was the month that I had to edit it. And I have tears coming out. I'm reading the book about how to manifest miracles in your life every day. And half of me is feeling, well, God, what kind of miracle is this? And the other part of me was going, oh my God, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. And I'm doing my affirmations. I'm listening to the guidance that I wrote in 2005, when I also came out of a tough period. And I'm listening to it like the voice of the divine was coaching me through it. And yes, we can't lose sight of the fact that you are here for a reason. And even if today you can't understand it, you can still sit back and tap into the bigger picture and the divine. And it's helpful when you tap in with people you have connection with and a history with and a memory of, because honestly, I was really alone. I was very much alone. And when you would show up at my place, it was like the light just walked in. If you stayed for an hour or two, it didn't matter. It was like, oh my God, the light has just arrived and I'm not alone anymore. And so, guys, you are not alone anymore. Our angels, our guides are really with us, and the light is with us. And we're moving into a new period of history for the planet and for America, where there's going to be a freeing of slave enslavement. Because
And let,
what we didn't know is that we've been enslaved all of our lives.
and let me ask you, because just based on the timing of this podcast and everything else, people are feeling very challenged. There is a segment of the population feeling incredibly challenged, feeling in a very dark place. What advice, what insight can you give to those people? Maybe half the people that are going to watch this podcast are feeling like the end is near. I mean, maybe that's an overstatement. Maybe for some of them, that's an understatement. But it's as I scroll through social media and not get too attached to everything,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of challenge and a lot of darkness, and what can those people do to reconnect and to like, because those energies are manifestation energies, and people need to understand, just by it's fine to grieve and then say, okay, now who am I and what is my role? And let me get back connected to what my highest purpose is. And certainly, I've got to say, no one's highest purpose right now is to stay sunken in these lower energies and these well, I'm just going to leave that there. I don't want to be in judgment. I mean, it's the It's All Good show. The domain is itsallgood.com. My perspective has always been, if I'm going to judge something, and as a human, we're all going to judge, then I'm going to
Uh-huh.
judge it as it's all good. And people say to me, well, what about this, this, and this? And I'm like, well, I have a backup to my it's all good. And that is, if it doesn't look like it's all good, it's because I don't really understand it yet. And that's always been my catch-all. What advice do you have for people that are in this dark place and maybe can't see their way out of it yet?
Okay. So this is a wake-up call, guys. You're in a dark place because everything has been structured to put you in a dark place. Structured to make you feel bad about yourself, to take away all your extra money, to take away your careers. Honestly, it's your health. Oh my God. If you really look up and you see all the chemtrails up there, you're breathing crappy air. You're breathing in toxins. And if you look at the ingredients on processed food, you're eating processed crap all everywhere. So I'm going to tell you that they ratcheted up the anti-humanity program from 220 in 2020. It got worse and worse and worse. And so if you're feeling bad, we've also experienced trauma as a result of what's been going on. That whole episode was traumatic. But if you're really feeling bad, understand that we have been deliberately targeted as light workers, as star seeds in particular, to number one, be divided, right and left on both sides, to be divided, the issue of this divided humanity as well. So everything has been brought to having us bicker like this so we could forget our light. So I'm going to make a proposal to you that I want to remind you that you're here for a reason. And just because things are looking bad, and just because the last few years kicked the bejesus out of you, I want you to snap out of it. I don't want you to keep buying in that program. You really need to stand up, shake yourself off, shake it off, because that's shaking off the crap that they laid upon you and all of us in terms of our thinking, and literally break free. Because can't you feel the energy as I'm talking, to literally break free, stand up, do whatever you do to connect to that light and say, you know what? I'm back. I'm here. I came here for a reason. And even if I can't remember, at least I remember I know how to hold that light. And until my exact thing I'm supposed to do tomorrow morning comes in, I will stand holding that light. Because when you do that, you're holding firm against the wave of darkness that was there, but you're also reigniting your own fire, which is then going to go connect to my antenna and my fire and Dr. Dream's fire, and we can light up the planet, because I don't want them to win, my friends. I know we have a mission. I know each and every one of you had a purpose. In 2020, the summer, I went into a dark place for a little while, thinking, I should fall apart. It's, look what's happening in the world. And I heard a voice that said, Joan, you're telling everyone you're the only Joan of Angels on the planet. If you don't want to step into what that means, don't worry about it. We have 2,000 people lined up ready to take over. They've said yes too. And so I'm here to tell you that you have a role to play. And just step into it. Chop wood, carry water. Just do the pragmatic thing as the light begins to clear, because the more of us that hold steady against the dark, the stronger we're going to be. And they don't want you to come back to sanity and to the light, but we do.
So here's just the most practical question.
Okay.
There's a segment of the US population that feels like the other segment of the US population has invited in the darkness. And that's what they're owning. I see it over and over again. I'm reading things that I can't even go there anymore because it just drops me. What
Mm-hmm.
can you say to those people? How can they find the divine perfection and remember that there's divine perfection in everything that's happening? And if it doesn't look that way, we just don't understand it yet. How can you help those people? Because it's my biggest concern right now is that those people will sink deeper and deeper into that program of division, of not understanding, of what I believe is the greater manipulation that has taken them there. I don't believe all of that. I can't believe all of that. What I'm reading is like, that's not what I came here for. And I want to say to people, I want to shake people and say, is that what you really believe you came here for this darkness? And I'm like, no, something's going to come out of this. How can you help people understand or raise their frequency?
Well, we're doing that right now. We're
Okay.
doing that right now. But guys, I'll show you a little process I do wherever I go. Okay. So take a deep breath in with me and bring your shoulders back. This is how I can go out in the world and feel like I am an angelic, fifth dimensional and above frequency, no matter what, no matter where I've been sent, no matter what energy field and frequency I'm sent to, because I'm sent to all sorts of places. I can still hold that light, and so can you. So as we do this and we breathe in and breathe out, I want you to start bringing back your shoulders. And the reason we bring back our shoulders is that that's where your wings are. The shoulder blade is known as wings. So when you start to do that, you can start to imagine your angels right behind you, pulling out those feathers and oiling them and helping you feel more empowered. And even if you don't see the wings, as you bring this out and you start to use more of your body in a more powerful way, you see how it feels. It feels like more energy can flow through you.
Completely.
I always put my antenna up to the heavens and I bring down that celestial light all through me and going down to the center of the earth. So you can listen to this over and over and over again and clear your field. You can go and listen to my Miracle Mondays on my YouTube channel and clear your field. But remember that we were called for this. No one promised us it would look pretty, but I will tell you, you wouldn't have been allowed to come down here unless it was a guarantee that you would be able to step up and fulfill your mission. So that mission that you came down here with, that maybe you feel lost about, it was written in stars before you came here that you would complete it. So I want you to know that. So using your mind's eye, imagine yourself having completed your mission, and then look down and say, oh my God, well, what did I have to do that? Oh, I had to believe in myself. Oh, I had to start using affirmations again. I had to open up to the sunlight again. So you can start by anchoring that in and know that you would not be here if spirit did not know and were not convinced that you had what it takes to be that master down here. So even if it doesn't look pretty, even if you're not feeling that great, get up, shake yourself off, go chop wood, carry water, do something in the earth, put your hands in the earth, do your garden, something pragmatic as you get your feet back underneath you. And breathe into those wings and just feel the totality of how powerful you are. And it will come back. I can guarantee it will come back, because by shifting your consciousness about this, listen, the most horrifying thing for me, Dr. Dream, was when I really got that humanity's been enslaved. I have been studying the ancient roots of Tartaria and the giants and the giant statues and I've been lost in that world, understanding the reset that's happened here and understanding how the lies have been manipulated. But we are waking up. Don't go back to sleep. You're here to wake up. And yes, there have been horrific things that have been happening across the planet. The dark portals have been opened, but the higher we get into our consciousness of light, the more those portals are being closed, and the more that they're being sent back to where they came from, back to source. Source knows what to do with them. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to go into what it is. We don't have to lower our frequency. You know, like when you start screaming at people, you may be right, but you're lowering your frequency. So it's not worth it. Not worth it. Send them back to source. Source will take care of that. It's none of our business. Our business is to do what we do best, to become the light workers, the star seeds that we are, to walk in our own truth, even if it's simple as going, I'm safe, all is well. That was an affirmation that has always gotten me through the dark nights. I am safe, all is well. I am, and I would repeat it 1,000 times a night. Not that I believed it, until my soul believed it, really. So that's what I say, you know, that's my, I guess I've had a rebirth again. I'm a 33 aspect walk-in, and maybe this is another soul aspect coming back, that's also reuniting for the highest good of all. But together we can do it. You're not alone. Guys, you are not alone. You have people like me, you have people like Dr. Dream, you have others. Your job is to say, you know what? Dr. Joan's right. Oh, look, with two doctors, Dr. Dream, Dr. Joan.
And the only thing that replaces fear within our field is love, and opening
Mm.
ourselves up to love of self, love and gratitude for this reality, and the things that we don't understand yet, the things we can't that some of us can't quite wrap our minds around. What we can do is just be in a loving place about all of it, because we can't go wrong with that. We stay in a fearful place, we're putting energy into that agenda, into the fear agenda. We allow ourselves to be in a loving place, in a loving energetic for all that is, even what we don't understand. That's manifestation energy. It's all manifestation energy. You want to manifest more things to have fear about, or do you want to manifest more things to have love about? And that's the, to me, the greatest opportunity of what's available. The newest hashtag for what Stephanie and I have, which is the tour of love, is hashtag here to love you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it. And I posted today, I said, we're even more committed and dedicated to this than we ever have been. And that's the energy we carry, and we know that. And wherever we go, and it's interesting that, we'll do 97 events all over the country this year, 11 and a half months on the road. We're anchoring that everywhere we go. And so I ask people, what are you anchoring where you go? Even if it's just to the grocery store in your town. What are you
Mm-hmm.
anchoring? The conversations that you're having in the coffee shop, the conversations you're having as you're typing online. What energy are you anchoring? And is that the energy you choose to experience? Because that's what's happening. We are the creator selves, and more than ever, we're being asked to step into that powerful energetic and believe, which will take us into the absolute knowing, believe what is possible and how powerful we truly are.
Right. Right. I agree. Brilliant. That's exactly all we have to do. But guys, remember that we have been under attack for years. And these attacks are designed to make you forget your vision, to forget your connection to source, and that you have a purpose. They're all designed to make you feel exactly the way some of you might be feeling. And it is overwhelming to wake up and see all these horrific truths that they're exposing, and to see what's been covered up. But I say thank you. Let's cleanse it, purify, and rebirth. When you bring things out to the surface, and you're in a relationship and there's so many secrets, when you bring them out, they can be purified and rebooted and restored. So I think it's a shock when some of us discover what has gone on or what is transpiring, but it is the awakening. We are in the great awakening. What does an awakening mean? It means you awaken to maybe what wasn't right, so you can see where you're going and see the light once again. So we're in the middle of a brand new dawn. And again, numerologically, next year, 2025 is a 9 year. And 9 years all about spiritual mastery and all about letting go of everything that doesn't serve. So I'm guaranteeing it's a year of transparency. It's a year of letting go of all preconceived notions about our country, our leaders, our government, each other, and what we are capable of. And you will find that by 2026, we'll be in that new earth and that new energy. And that who you've always known yourself to be will be stepping up and manifesting your potential.
And there's so many of us now that are holding space, that are
Mm-hmm.
here to support humanity, to support our communities, our people, our circles in this process. And
Absolutely.
call on us, find us. So Joan, how do people connect with you? I mean, you're doing some amazing things. You're calling forth a team right now of people to be firmly set in the 3D, to protect themselves and to expand, and it offers abundance at the highest level. Someone's going to hear this. Many people are going to hear this and say, I need to
Mm-hmm.
connect with this Joan of Angels because she's on to something. So how do people
I
connect?
am onto something, my dear friends. Okay, I'm putting my phone number here. All my links are here. You can text me at 415-717-1385, and we'll know if we're a match. But what I'm calling in and calling you to come into is work collaboratively to not only grow a delicious, when I say delicious, meaning very abundant flow of income for you and your family, that even your family can inherit it from you. That's how great it is, while being in service to humanity, helping them protect themselves from attacks on their identity, attacks on their home, people trying to steal their home away from them, attacks on their very being as a practitioner, because many psychics, intuitives are now being exposed as possibly harming people. So we need to protect our reputations as well. And that's what I'm all about. I'm here to help teach you to do that. I'm here to help you build a tribe that, if that interests you, to work with Joan of Angels, work with the miracle team to build abundance, build residual income by serving humanity. So for instance, this weekend, I'm going to an event with veterans. I'm very excited because I know the veterans are going to be very excited, and they want opportunities for new income, and they need also to be legally protected and have your identity protected, or gun protection, or we have protection for Uber drivers who need extra protection. So I'm all about, this is funny, it's like 5D 3D protection for the 5D soul.
Love it.
Isn't that great? Or for the light worker soul. It's like light worker protection, because most of us don't want to look at it. I got a letter from the IRS 2 years ago that two people were using my social security number. Now I just found out that, plus me, now there's four of us, if you include me, using my social security number. And I can tell you that if that kind of stress you don't need, because it takes hundreds of hours to try to fix it, and you really can't. You need a team of lawyers to help you with many of these things. And so that's what I bring to the table, that you have a team of attorneys and specialists that can help you recover and not lose what's yours, not lose what you've gained, and protect you.
How perfect. Joan of Angels, providing us this web of protection and everything. I have known you for years. Um, you have always been a stand-up person in my life. I shared with you before we started the podcast that I remember, Stephanie and I have been together a little over 8 years, and so it was probably 7.5 years ago we were at Contact in the Desert with you, and Stephanie was with me, and you put her a little bit through the paces. And she said to me, she said, she said to me, Dr. Dream, like, this Joan of Angels, she really loves you. And I can tell she's making sure that I'm okay to be part of your life. And it's both of us have the deepest respect for you. That was a very beautiful thing that you did, and you questioned her, and you it was like you were literally putting her through the paces to make sure that she was, I, I don't know the right word, worthy or safe to be brought into my world. And I thank you for that. Here we are, 8 years. We've weathered a lot of storms between, the just everything, my back-to-back strokes and everything. And she has given me, this incredibly added to my solid foundation. But you wanted to make sure, and that's the kind of person that you are, and I guarantee you that you're in your life, you weren't just that way for me, that you have the people that you care about and the people that are important to you. And now, how beautiful that you're putting this call out and saying, I've found something. I found something I believe in. I found something that can help us all and offers so much. And if you feel the calling, contact me, get in touch with me. And it's a beautiful thing because you're a beautiful person, and my life is better and more enriched because you entered into it. And so I could go on forever, and it'll start to well, probably never get old because you're just that amazing energy, and I'm blessed to have you in my life, and anyone would be. And so, yeah, I just before we started the podcast, I literally was in tears and had to like pull myself together because of how strongly I feel about you and the emotional connection I have with you. I just I don't want to go back there.
Okay,
I
well, I
know.
love you. I have to address a few things. First of all, I was also, I knew that you were good for Stephanie, just so you know, because if I didn't think you were good for Stephanie, so I have told people's wives that they're going to leave them. I mean, I will say what when I'm in a trance like that, I don't censor it, but I guess I don't even remember doing that, but it sounds like something I would do. But I adore Stephanie for you. That's the first thing I want you to know. And then, guys, yes, reach out to me, call me, text me. I probably won't pick it up, but text me and just say light worker protection, and I'll know what you mean. And also get my new book, which is on Amazon. I haven't even told anyone about my new book. It's called The Miracle Makers Club, Manifest Miracles Daily. And so very powerful, because that book, rewriting it got me out of my dark night of the soul. It was that powerful for me. I could hardly believe that I wrote those things. It was like, oh my God, how did I know all this? So I just want you to know, Dr. Dream, you called me at the most perfect moment. And I'm just happy to be doing this interview with you. I can't wait to see it and share it out myself. I I feel for all of us, guys. We're waking up from a long dark sleep. We do not even know how far off track our planet has been and the people in it. And we're coming back to center. That's what New Earth is about. That's what the Great Awakening is. And you are here for it. So shake yourself off and do the New Earth dance. Well, let's like do something that goes, holy moly, I am leaving slavery. I'm leaving the dark side, and I'm going to dance my way through the sun. Come on, wake
Beautiful.
up. I can't do it alone.
Now let me ask you, if someone types in Joan of Angels to Google, will they find your art? Because I want
You'll find
people
my
to
website. Yes, yes. So if you go to joanofangels.com, there's a place on that website that says art, and you can click through to the art, or you can go to shopjoanofangels.com. That's another one. And I have a beautiful art gallery. I mean, in fact, when we got on, I'm in my new apartment here in Fort Lauderdale, and you mentioned my art, and I went into a little reverie while you were reading my bio, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to put the zebras right there. And then I'm going to put the giraffes over there. I mean, I was sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to blow them up big. I'm going to put my own angel art all around me here.
your home in Desert Hot Springs, and I was honored to visit at least a couple of times to be surrounded. Your walls were filled with your paintings, and then we went even into the studio, and there was more work. Absolutely transformational energy was felt by me, and I was just like, this is incredible. And so much love, honor, and respect for you, Joan of Angels, Dr. Joan. Thank you so much for being on the It's All Good show. You are the guest that is like perfect for the It's All Good show. And so thank you. We will be back in Florida in March, and I cannot wait to see you again and hug you and hang out, and it just means a lot. Thank you.
And maybe we can do a little collaborative something.
I
You
would
just
love that.
never know. Okay, so let's stay in touch and talk about that. It's an honor to see you. I've always admired you, Dr. Dream. One day I used to go, how come I didn't call myself Dr. Dream? What a great name.
So funny because I was going to be Dr. Joan, and then I'm like, oh no, it's already taken. I love you, dear. Thank you so much.